We're recording. If you don't feel comfortable being on screen, because this is actually going to be posted to YouTube, it won't be advertised or anything, but you're welcome to turn off your video. It's nice to see the faces though, and to see so many faces here for the orientation for the Q1, which stands for first quarter of 2022 cohort. So welcome everybody. We're super excited to have you here. In this coming hour, we're gonna just kind of try to get you oriented to what the next 8 weeks is gonna be like for you as you work here at Collab Lab. So we have a bunch of mentors on the call in addition to our new Collabies, our new developers. So yeah, we will go around and we'll do some introductions. I'll talk a little bit about our code of conduct as well and how that works. And then we will just kind of talk about the program and how it works, what's expected of you and what you can expect from us. And yeah, and then answer any questions you have. So pretty informal. Like Stacie said, if you have questions, throw them in the chat or feel free to just interrupt. I mean, we're all friends here. So anything that comes up, if there, we've done this a bunch of times, so sometimes it's hard for us to kind of even remember like what stuff is not super clear, like we might use a little jargon or something. Feel free to stop us and say, hey, slow down, can you explain what that thing means? Want everybody to come out of this understanding fully kind of what we're about. So so just, I mentioned the code of conduct. I'm actually gonna share the URL for the code of conduct. You all probably have seen it before because you agreed to it when you applied to the program. And then you agreed to it again when you confirmed that you were gonna be in the program. But as with everything that happens at Collab Lab, this call is governed by our code of conduct. So, don't be rude to each other. Don't do anything that's, I don't know, rude. I think you probably know what it means. It's well defined in the code of conduct, but we try to do everything we can to just kind of create a supportive, safe experience for everybody when we're doing Collab Lab stuff. So one of the things that we do is and you may have seen your people kind of introducing themselves in your team channels, is we have a code of conduct responder that's assigned to each team. So that's a person who, Stacie's actually the code of conduct responder for a couple of teams. Melina and Alex are the others for the other teams. And what they do is they will check in with you a couple weeks into the program and just give you an opportunity to just kind of just talk about how it's going. And if there's anything you notice that maybe makes you feel uncomfortable, or if there's things that are great, want to send some feedback back about how well things are going, that's fine too. But we want to kind of have somebody that's sort of independent of the team that you're working on, that you have the ability to access if anything doesn't feel quite right. So like I said, we want to try to create as safe of an experience as possible. So anything else about the code of conduct program? That
sounds great. You nailed it.
Okay. Yes. All right.
Perfect.
Stacie usually does that part. So what I want to do next is just to go around and have everybody introduce yourselves. So I will start, but what we're going to do is your name, your location, what team you're part of. So if you're a mentor for TCL 36 or a developer on TCL 39, like whatever, what your relation is to Collab Lab. And we have a big group, so maybe we'll keep it at that. And pronouns. So I'm Andrew Hedges. I'm the founder of Collab Lab. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm located in Portland, Oregon. I'm not mentoring any team directly at this point, but I'll be kind of checking in with all the teams throughout the program. So Stacie, you want to go?
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Stacie Taylor, also co-founder of Collab Lab. Done mentoring like Andrew. I'm not directly mentoring any teams. I am the code of conduct responder for a few of your teams. So you'll probably see me around. If you have comments, questions, concerns about anything Collab Lab related or just general life things, I'm totally here for you. So reach out. And we'll just keep popcorning it to the next person. So I'll just pick next to me, Rafa.
Hey everyone, my name is Rafa. My pronouns are they, them. I'm located in Colorado Springs right now, but I'm hoping to relocate to San Francisco. And I'm a developer with TCL 37.
Nice.
Who would you like to go next?
Yeah, Maybe, yeah. So when you're done,
Eddie?
yeah, call them an expert. Yep. Cool.
Oh, sorry, Eddie Hinkle.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Hey, everyone. My name is Eddie, and my pronouns are he and him. And I am in the Washington, D.C. area and a mentor for TCL 36. So this is my first cohort that I'm helping mentor. So for all you who are new collabbies, I'm a new mentor. So be easy on me.
We're all
right.
here to learn and grow together.
Yeah.
Awesome. Next up, Kristen.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristen Monick. My pronouns are she, her, and I've spent most of my life in New Orleans, Louisiana, but I just moved to Montreal in Canada. And I am a developer with TCL 38. And let's see, I'm trying to see the list of people. Sorry, I'm on my phone. Okay, Shelly.
Hi, I'm Shelly. My pronouns are she, her. I'm from California, but I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm a developer on TCL 36. Next person on my list is Dana.
Dana couldn't find the unmute. Hi, I'm Dana Pahakoff, and I'm in Jacksonville, Florida area, Ponte Vedra Beach, and I'm on TCL 37. Is that how you say that? 37?
Mhm.
As a developer. Very pleased to be here.
Great. You want to call the next person, Dana?
Yes, Chris K.
Hi, I'm Chris. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yeah,
Mhm.
perfect.
Cool. Yeah, I'm on TCL 38 and I'm from Portland, Oregon. And let's see. I forgot what else I was supposed to say here.
Yeah, name, pronouns, team, location.
He, him.
Yep.
And yeah, just born and raised in Portland, and I'm really happy to be here. I'm a little new to Zoom, believe it or not, after this whole pandemic. So I'm trying to figure out how y'all are figuring out who the next person is here.
We're just totally randomly picking. And if anybody is just like, I just can't pick for whatever reason, just be like, just yell popcorn and I'll pick for you.
Okay, right on.
So you can pick or you can yell popcorn. Those are your options.
So how about Rob?
Yes, I'm Rob, he, him. I'm near Denver, Colorado, and TCL 37. I'm a mentor and new this cohort as well. Let's do Dev.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dev. He, him, his. I'm part of TCL 37, and I'm from New Jersey, and really excited to be here. So let's pick DJ.
Hey everyone, my name is DJ Taylor, he, him. I am in Los Angeles and I am in TCL 36. I'm super excited to be here. Let's go with Lars.
Hi everyone, my name is Lars. My pronouns are he, him. I'm currently in Portland, Oregon. I grew up in Norway, but I moved to the US a while ago. So yeah, mentored in TCL 3. And now I'm back for TCL 38. So it's been a little bit of a gap and I'll have to relearn React, but that's just fun. So yeah, then I'm going to choose, let's see here, Rudy.
Took me a while to find that unmute button. Hi, my name is Rudy Pshenichnik. My last name obviously is a killer. I live in San Jose currently. I was spent the first half of my life in Yugoslavia/Serbia. I am with, let's see, TCL 36, because numbers are hard. We'll call just that, Team Awesome or whatever. And it's my first time as a mentor. I've been, self-taught, had to figure out how to navigate lots of things over the last few decades. And hopefully for many of you, I can make that a bit easier with some of the experience I've gathered on the journey. Let's see, next person. Such a chaos theory picking the next person. Diana, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
You got it. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Diana. She, her pronouns. I live in Portland, although at this very moment I am in Los Angeles temporarily. And I am on team 38 and really looking forward to working with you all.
Would you like to go next, or you can just yell popcorn?
Oh, thank you for the reminder. Viviana.
Hi, everyone. My name is Viviana, pronouns she, her. I'm from Tulare, California. And my group is, I'm a developer for group 37. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. And next, is it Jairo? Is that how you say it? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, that's right. That's right. So I'm Jairo. I'm in Medellin, Colombia. I am a developer for TCL 39, and I'm really happy to be here. And next can go Elizabeth.
Hi guys. Good night. My name is Elizabeth. My pronouns is she and her. I'm from Peru, Lima. This is for South America. And my group is TCL 39. I'm so happy to be here. Okay. My name will be Cynthia.
Hi, I'm Cynthia. I'm from NYC, she, her, and I'm in 38, I believe, as a developer. So nice to meet everybody, and popcorn.
Sky.
All right. Yeah, my name's Skylar Shaw, but everybody calls me Sky, so feel free to keep that one up. I'm he, him, and I'm currently in the San Francisco Bay Area, but I'm a bit mobile. I have a van and like to travel around a lot, so I might be swapping time zones on you. I'm a returning mentor. I've been in 2 groups previously and enjoyed it, and so I'm back for more with TCL 38. Let's see, the person that I was gonna pick disappeared on me, but Camila Parada, have you gone yet?
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Camila. I'm from Colombia and I currently live here. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm a first-time mentor for TCL 39. And next can go, I believe Alejandro hasn't gone yet.
Hi everyone, I am Alejandro. I am living in Bolivia. My pronoun is he, him. I am a mentor for the TCL 39 and I'm so fan for the Collab Lab. Thank you for hearing me. Who next? Lauren, please.
Oh my gosh, that's my, oh, I'm glad I didn't talk. I've been unmuted this whole time. Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm a mentor for 36 this time, and I went through the program before as a developer, so very happy to be here. And Eddie, I didn't know you were based in DC. I am also in DC, and my pronouns are she, her. So next, Tanner.
Hello, my name is Tanner. I use he, him pronouns. I'm in San Diego, California. I was born and raised, and I'm a mentor for TCL 37. I think, Lindsay, have you gone yet? Cool.
My name's Lindsay. My pronouns are she, her. I'm originally from Missouri, but I relocated to California about 6 years ago after college, and I'm in TCL 36. And I'll popcorn to April.
Okay, hi, I'm April. I am, my pronouns are she, her. I sometimes in Seattle, sometimes in Sacramento, but I still haven't had a coffee with Stacie, so I'm bummed about that.
Very soon.
And I know, soon. And I am a mentor. This is my 3rd time mentoring. And this time I am on team 38. Let's see, how about looking around.
I think we're getting down to like, Elena, have you gone yet?
No, I'm the last one probably.
Okay, I was like,
I think you're the last. You're the last one. You're the last one before Lauren's cat. Lauren has to introduce her cat after you go.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Okay, hello everyone. I'm Alina. I'm originally I'm from Belarus, but currently I'm living near Denver, Colorado. I'm part of the group TCL36 as a developer, newborn developer. Good to be here.
Yeah, welcome.
Was that everybody? If I missed anybody, I'm terribly sorry.
Lawrence Cat.
Lawrence Cat.
This is T, which stands for Tyrion. We were big Game of Thrones fans before the final season.
Amazing.
Before the final season.
Yeah, the final season was, yeah, anyway.
You know what? I liked it. I thought they did a pretty good job. Is that really controversial? Is that like a hot take? Oh, TJ.
A little bit, but it's all right. We'll forgive you.
I'm very easy to please. So I was like, oh yeah, I thought that was great.
Nice. Okay, so all right. So we will move on to the content portion of our presentation. So I'm gonna.
Or are you gonna share yours?
I'll share mine. I'm just gonna share the links. So we have it. We're gonna be working off this document, and we have it in both English and Spanish. So feel free to open whichever one. Oh, and I shouldn't have included the hashtag pair programming on the first one, but anyway, whichever one works best for you, and then I will also share my screen. So one moment.
Thank you.
There we go. And now I have to do that thing where you rearrange the Zoom windows.
Of course.
So I can see people and then open the chat and blah, blah, blah. So
feel free to ask questions in the chat. I know I said it before, but sometimes you just got to get them out when you think of them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, feel free to interrupt me. We're going to be covering a lot of information, and rather than hold on to the question or whatever, like just feel free to just speak up. No problem at all. All right. So you're here now, but I'm going to answer the question of what is the Collab Lab. So Stacie and I started this program really to help early career engineers like yourself, gain experience with the things that are really hard to kind of learn and practice on your own. So, how software teams work, working collaboratively together, and all those kinds of things. And what we found is that the best way to do that is to work on a real world project on a team. So with people, mentors who are professionals in the field. So that's what we're doing. That's what Collab Lab is. You're going to spend the next 8 weeks building a project. We call it a smart shopping list. And the shopping list learns your shopping habits over time. So, if you buy eggs every week, it knows that. And then, when the time comes when you need eggs, it'll put it at the top of the shopping list. So kind of clever. And all the teams build the same app from the same set of instructions. But what's really fun is, you all bring your own personalities and your backgrounds and all those things to it. And so every app turns out different. It's really fun to see the personality of the group reflected in the app. So we have a kind of a demo video here. I would encourage you to watch the video. It's a kind of a walkthrough of the TCL6 app that they built. Just as one example, you can go back and watch. We have all the kind of weekly syncs are all recorded and things. You can go back and watch demos from other teams of what their apps look like as well, just to get some inspiration. But it's nice to be kind of familiar with what you're aiming for at the end of the time, so that you can make good decisions along the way. So now that you're here, you're part of the Collab Lab community, and you're joining a group of, it must be 200 people now or something, all over the world who are all really dedicated to, they're either trying to get their foothold in tech or dedicated to helping you all do that. So we every quarter we have a new cohort that starts. So quarter one, we're starting one. We'll have 4 cohorts this year, and each time we run 4 or 5 teams. So the community is kind of always growing. Each of the teams is comprised of 4 developers who, like I said, kind of work together on this app, and then 3 mentors who support you through the project. So it's very high touch. It's very different than a lot of other like boot camps and different things where they try to scale it by being all online. Like we really feel that having you have access to people who are working in the field is some of the best training you can get in terms of just being ready for that first job. So now, why do we do what we do? We really firmly believe that coding is just one piece of being a professional web developer. If you were on the call early enough, Stacie was saying that, like a lot of times she's not writing a lot of React at work. It's even though that's sort of her job title is to do that. There's a lot of collaboration, a lot of figuring out what the solution should be. There's talking to stakeholders. There's all these other things you have to do to be a professional web developer. So you can study code and you can get really good at that, but unless you have worked on a team, it's really hard to know how that works. So that's what we teach. And a big part of that, one of the things we really believe in is just kind of in the power of pair programming. So this is built into the program every week. The 4 developers on the team are going to pair off, and each pair is going to be responsible for delivering one piece of functionality that week. So you'll always be pair programming. And pair programming is great because it's like, there's this Venn diagram of skills and things that you bring to solving the problem, and you get to put that together and more effectively and more quickly kind of come up with a good solution. It's also very intentionally structured so that each pair is going to review the code for the other pair, so you're kind of always aware of all the code in the entire app as you go. So, but it's a great way to both teach and to learn from your partner. To see different perspectives. People have different workflows. Sometimes that's really fun just to see, keyboard shortcuts that people use or different tools. And then just, to have, multiple minds on solving any, the problem. So there's no one right way to pair program. So a couple of weeks into the program, we will actually have a presentation on pair programming. But we intentionally have that about 3 weeks into the program so that you've actually had a chance to try it out with people and just see what works. It's you get in there and you're just use your own kind of your own idea of how to work with another person to solve the problem. And then when you get to that presentation, you'll have more context for what are some other approaches you can take to it. So but yeah, in general you're going to meet with your partner on Zoom or Google Meet or something and work through the story that you've been assigned for that week. So yeah, I guess that's kind of where I'm gonna hand it off to Stacie to talk to you about the nitty gritty of how the whole thing works.
I love that. Let's get into the nitty gritty. And yes, just to echo Andrew, there is no wrong way to collaborate if you're all just bringing your whole selves to the table and working together to get the thing done. So try things out, try some different ways, and just build a solid team and collaborate. I love it. Okay, into the nitty gritty. I'm gonna look over here because my eyes aren't as good to see that little thing. So, okay, how does it all work? So as Andrew mentioned, you're each on a team of 4 developers, and the project that you're going to be working on is in GitHub. So Team 36 has a project, Team 37, Team 38, etc. You all have your own project for your team. That project has user stories as issues in GitHub. And Andrew, I don't know if you have that pulled up or not, but each of your teams will have a project board where all of the issues you'll be working through each week are listed. And so
let me find the project board. Here we go.
Perfect. Okay. So for example, this is 36's project board. Each one of your teams will have one of these. And so each week you'll split into pairs and somebody will take issue 1 and another pair will take issue 2, and you'll move them across the board till they're done. So what does done mean? One of these stories is completely done when all of the acceptance criteria inside that ticket are met, which you can see listed here under AC. That's what acceptance criteria is abbreviated as. If it's a UI feature, it's been tested for accessibility. That's something we're very passionate about and think makes the world a much better place and is a requirement. And then the code that you wrote to complete that issue has been reviewed by the other pair. So not you and your partner, but the other pair are going to review the code. And then once they sign off on it, your mentor will also review the code. And that's when it's done. And you can move that ticket all the way to the done column and celebrate. So again, there's 4 of you developers on a team. Each week, you'll split into 2 pairs of 2, and each pair will take one of the tickets on this board. That's how it'll work. And then after 8 weeks, all of the tickets on the board will be done, and you'll have a fully functioning app that you worked together to build. So moving on to coordination and communication. It's super helpful for everybody on your team if you work in the open and you talk about what you're doing outside of DMs and outside of your Zoom meetings. So there's a few ways that you can do that, but what we would suggest is that At the beginning of each week, you open a draft pull request for the issue that you're working on. Pull requests are how you're going to put your work up for review in GitHub. And when you start a draft, that's a really great way for you and your partner to take notes right there next to the code that you're writing. Also, at the beginning of each week, you'll generally have a Slack thread in your team channel that you can work in to coordinate the times you're going to meet, talk through some of the challenges you're facing, and just kind of let the rest of your team get an eye into the work that you're doing. So be very loud. It can be very uncomfortable to sort of work in the open and show what you're struggling through, but that's what we're here for, is to work together. So be very loud if you have questions. Don't spin your wheels for too long on one thing, because we're all in it together and we want to help you get this done and learn and grow through it. Okay, so Slack. Slack is where most of our communication is going to be happening outside of Zoom. And you've probably already seen a lot of chatter in there already. Be really, really loud in Slack. Again, the only way we can help you and know what you're doing is if you're loud and out in the open in Slack. So try to stay out of DMs, direct messages, and be in the team channel so that we can all jump in and help you when we have time. Okay, so here are some tips for working in Slack. 1, threads, threads, threads. Threads are fantastic, and you can start a thread on a message by clicking the little chat bubble with the 3 lines in it. These are great because it really helps consolidate a topic that you're talking about. So if 2 weeks from now, I remember, oh, right, Stacie did say something about code of conduct and I responded to it. If you had responded in the thread, it's going to be a lot easier to find and follow that message than if you just post in the channel and it starts getting lost within the other messages. So stay organized, use threads. It also helps minimize notifications for people who aren't involved in that conversation. And as I said, you've been in Slack, you've seen how busy it is. It can get really noisy. So keep things nice and tidy, use threads. 2, speaking of notifications, tag the people that you need into your message. We're all not paying full attention all the time. And so if you need somebody specific's attention, just tag them. You know, tag me, tag a specific mentor that you are talking to. If you just need your mentors at large, there are groups that you can use, like this one listed here, at group TCL 36, 37, 38, whatever it might be. If you need to tag in your developers, use the group TCL 36, your group. And I pinned a message in each of your channels listing those groups, so you should have them. But the idea here is ask specifically for people if you need something specific. It's the quickest way to get somebody's attention. And I promise you, it's not rude. It is the right thing to do. So don't feel like, oh, I don't want to bother them. Just bother them. We're here to help. We're here to work together. So do it. And 3, use GIFs or GIFs, whichever you prefer, and emojis liberally. When we're working remote like this, it can be really hard to emote. And so emojis and GIFs are a really great way to do that. So, you know, sprinkle them in there, sprinkle in some good vibes. It's good for everybody and helps on team building and relationship building. Okay. Anybody who works with me like in real life is probably scoffing right now, the number of emojis and GIFs that I send because it's a little excessive, but I love it. Okay, a note listed here, you can disable the animations if you have motion sensitivity, and there's a link here to help you do that so that you're not deterred from checking my wild Slack messages that are sparkly and dancing. Okay, moving on. Again, this is a lot of information. All of it's available to you in your team's repos if you need to refer back to it. The development process. Each week, when you break off into your pairs and you work on an issue, you and your partner will work on one feature branch. So you'll create a branch off of the main one for you and your partner to do your work on. And we're not super strict on naming conventions, but a good way to name these are your initials, your partner's initials, and then a short description of the thing you're working on. So in this example here, we have Stacie and Alejandro working on an issue together. We're connecting to Firestore, so the branch name might be STAN, connect to Firestore. Again, it's not real specific. As long as we can look at it, know whose branch it is and what you're working on, that's all we're asking for. Okay, when you are ready to start working each week, you're gonna get your issue and you're gonna fire up a new branch. And so to do that, there are commands here, get, checkout, B, and then your name, and that's going to create your new branch. And then you're going to push that branch up to the remote repository so the rest of your team can see the work that you're doing using this git push command here. Again, this is all available for you right here if you need to refer back to it in your team's repo. Okay, so when you and your partner got together, you paired through completing the issue that you're working on. Here's a list of the things you're going to do. You finished your code. First thing you're going to do, if you haven't already, create a pull request and get it ready for review. Once you've got a nice description in your pull request telling your team the work that you're doing, any notes and details about it, you're going to notify the other pair you're working with that your code is ready for review. The other pair will go review it, leave you some feedback, and you'll incorporate that feedback. And when you feel like you've done that, you can then reach out to your mentors for the final review. So at this point, you and your partner wrote code, you put up a pull request, the other pair reviewed it, your mentors reviewed it, and then once it's got the green light to merge into main, you'll merge it and check it in production because you'll all have a live site that you can view your app on, and then celebrate because you did really awesome things together as a team. And that is always worth celebrating. Okay, phew. Any questions? Any questions?
None in the chat so far.
All right. Okay, this is a lot. We will recap at the end because I know that I talk very fast. Okay, when does everything happen? The project should take about 40 hours for each of you over 8 weeks. And this is really important. We expect you to spend about 5 hours a week working on the project. This 5 hours a week is really important to us because part of the reason that Collab Lab exists is to break down some of the barriers into getting into tech. And so we see the time commitment associated with programs like this being one of those big barriers, especially for like people like me who are moms who have to work full time. So please keep that 5 hours in mind. And if you ever feel like you're getting really close to running up against that 5 hours, be very loud about it because we want to work with you to make sure it's staying in that 5 hour commitment, whether that's us adjusting the program or helping you with maybe time and engineering management skills, whatever we can do to help keep it in that 5 hours, it's going to be really important. So 5 hours, you heard it from me, reach out, please, please do. Okay, so at least 2 to 3 of that 5 hours is going to be pairing with your partner to write the code to fulfill the issue that you were assigned in the week. The rest of it, 1 hour will be your weekly sync that we're working on getting scheduled. And the rest will be like coordinating and communicating with the rest of your team and just being an active member of the team. So we have put together kind of an example timeline of what a week at the Collab Lab might look like. Thank you to Alejandro for putting together this beautiful graphic. In this example, the weekly sync is on Sunday. So yours might not be on Sunday, but if it is, this is what your week should look like. So for the first 3 days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's when you'll really want to be working with your partner to write the code. So again, really front load your code in the beginning of the week because you will be surprised by how long those feedback cycles in the end take to go through. So try and get your pairing sessions in early and your code written and have your pull request up by Wednesday, maybe early Thursday. Okay, Thursday or so, you'll ask for the other pair's feedback, implement any changes they ask for, Friday, Saturday, asking for your mentor's feedback and implementing that. And then hopefully by Saturday, you will be merging into main so that on Sunday, in this example, you can demo your work at the weekly sync. So that's what it should look like. Again, the moral of this piece is just really front load the code at the beginning of the week because the feedback cycle will take a while. Okay. Scrolling down to weekly syncs. If your team hasn't scheduled your weekly sync yet, you hopefully will be doing that in the next couple hours, by the end of today, maybe tomorrow, because this is what's really going to kick off Collab Lab for you. It will be your first weekly sync. And the weekly syncs are going to be an hour-long meeting every weekend during your 8 weeks at Collab Lab, where you'll do a number of things, but high level, it will look like this. Every single time you will demo the work that you did in the week before. So if me and Alejandro did connect it to Firebase, we would go in, we would show our team it working in Firebase. And then we would go through the code and talk about anything that we learned and anything that's really notable about that. And this is a really valuable skill to get because it's something you'll actually be doing in your roles as engineers. So really use this as a good opportunity to practice demoing. These weekly syncs are also recorded so that you can use them as artifacts in your job hunt, for example, to show, you know, potential employers, see how well I can demo work. I'm awesome. You should hire me to it. So pay a lot of attention to those demos, prepare them in advance. Another thing that will happen every other week is that you will go through a learning module. And these will be presented by your mentors, and they're just topics that we think are really valuable and kind of fit with the spirit of Collab Lab. So collaborating through Git, communication for developers, stuff along those lines. So you'll have a nice presentation where you can learn with your mentors and the rest of your team every other week. On the opposite weeks, when you're not doing a learning module, you'll be participating in what's called a retrospective. And what these are is it's an opportunity for you to look back on the 2 weeks before and talk about what went well, what could be improved, and just show some general appreciation for the people on your team and the work that you're doing together. So come to those and be really honest, because the only way we're going to be able to grow together is if we're honest with our feedback and talk about genuine ways that we think we could improve and work together as a team. So it's a skill that definitely needs to be developed, and it can be a little uncomfortable giving people feedback if it's new to you, but I promise you it is so valuable, not just to that other person, but to you and to the rest of your team too. So take it seriously, be taking notes along the way about things that you want to talk to your team about, because it's incredibly valuable for teamwork and growing your team. Okay, and then every week, we will do 15 minutes of planning at the end. And during this planning, we will make sure you know who you're paired up with for the next week. And we will go through, we'll assign the issues so you know what you and your partner will be working on in the coming week. These pairs, I didn't mention this before, but you can find all of this in the project brief found in your team's project. And the pairs that you're in, we just randomly cycled through you all. So you all should be pairing with all the people on your team a pretty even number of times, but it's totally random. Code did it, if I'm being perfectly honest. So that's where you'll find your pairs. And then each week we'll kind of go through who's going to be doing which issue. And again, that's kind of random too. If there's an issue that you're like, I definitely want to work on that issue, I love it, then just raise your hand, because it's not set in stone and you can totally do what feels right to you. Okay, so yes, lots of great comments in the chat. Phew, y'all, that was a lot. I know I talked fast, I know that, but let's take a quick moment to recap, because again, that was a lot. First of all, during your time at Collab Lab, what you're going to get is experience working on a real team of developers to build something real. One of the things that we found with, you know, even me, myself, trying to get my first job as an engineer is that a lot of people won't take a chance on you because you don't have that experience working on a team. And they're like, sure, you learned how to code, but how are you going to work on a team? This is your opportunity to prove that you can do it. This is your opportunity to get those experiences to talk about in interviews and collect artifacts to show in that interview process. So treat it like a job, because it is. You're on a team of developers building something real using Scrum methodologies. So that's what you're going to do here. The program is 8 weeks long. You'll spend about 5 hours a week working on the project. Again, check out that demo that Andrew showed at the top of the doc, because it's really going to help you to know what you're building. Your team consists of 4 developers and 3 mentors. Each week, the 4 of you developers will split off into 2 pairs of 2, and each of you will tackle an issue until all of the issues are done. Let's see. Okay, I talked about the 5 weeks. Keep it in the 5 weeks. It's super important. I swear nobody's going to look at you funny if you're like, I've already spent 5 hours, because it happens and we want to adjust for that. So be loud about it. Let's see. I should really go off the notes, huh? Yeah, these hours include pair programming, researching, working with your partner to do the code, creating pull requests, and doing code reviews. And then every weekend, your whole team will get together to look at the work you did, to celebrate, to learn and grow together through learning modules and retrospectives, and then to figure out what you're doing in the coming weeks. So that is what the core of Collab Lab looks like. Bonus! At the end of your 8 weeks, if you should choose another adventure, we have an opportunity for you that we call Career Lab. So during Collab Lab, the 8-week program, you're working on a team, you're getting the experiences. But then what we found is that we really need to do more to prepare our collabbies for the actual job hunt. So during Career Lab, which I need to just document in here, what you'll be doing is working alongside all of the people who choose to at Collab Lab and a lot of career professionals and professional engineering managers and engineers to update your LinkedIn and do mock technical and mock job fit interviews and learn about how to navigate finances during a career change and get a lot of really valuable skills and artifacts built up so that you can go into your job search with a lot more confidence and you can have said interview words out loud before you actually go do it for real, which is very important. So, oh, yes, another thing, another bonus, thanks, Lauren. Every week, and this isn't in the doc either, one of your mentors will also hold just an open office hours to help you with whatever you need help with. You can bring problems that you and your team are running into and kind of talk through those. You can just show up and ask them questions about their job or ask them for advice on something that you're doing. If you don't have questions, I promise you your mentor could talk endlessly about some subject. So just ask them what interests them and you'll probably learn something fun and new. So just come, learn, bond, get your questions asked, and they'll schedule those. You can check your team channel for those details. Whew. What else did I forget? It's a lot, but I promise. Okay, this is something, Andrew, I want you to say this because you always say it so beautifully. That thing about the game rules.
Oh, I know. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, this, so something that you are going to probably find is like, this is a lot of information, might feel a little overwhelming. But have you ever learned a new board game? And you sit there and you kind of read the instructions, you're like, I don't know, this doesn't make any sense. But then as soon as you start playing it, like, oh, okay, and you like very quickly get the hang of it. A lot of people have that experience with Collab Lab where it's like, I don't know, how do you name your branch? And like, what are the commands to create the branch and like all these things? But you'll find like in a week or two, like you'll get into a rhythm and it's all going to start to make sense and it's going to start flowing. So just trust that that will happen. And if you're struggling at all, your mentor, that's why the mentors are there. So please just reach out to them, ask them for any kind of help. And especially if you're brave enough to do it in the team channel, there are probably other people on the team that have the exact same question, are really happy that you asked it, so they didn't have to. So, so do that. The other thing that's I think is really important to realize is that this is not, I mean, Stacie wants you to take it seriously and treat it like a job, but it's like, that's part of what we're doing. It's not school, right? You're not being evaluated on, there's no pass fail at Collab Lab. You're here to learn. You're here to just get together with a group of people and build something. So, treat it like that. In a real job, something might come up. You might get sick a certain week and you can't really contribute. Just, that's fine. Just let your team know. And like the team will adjust and pick up the slack, right? So, yeah, just treat it like it's your first developer job. And, I don't know. I'm super excited for all of you. This is a really strong group of applicants for Collab Lab this time, and you're all just. I mean, they're all great. I love them all. But it was really fun to read your applications, and we all got very excited about having you all here. So you're gonna have a great experience the next couple of months, and then you're always going to be part of the Collab Lab community after that. So
yes, I can't emphasize enough. Just be really loud if you have questions. I know when I was newer, I'm still new. I'm new to everything all the time. I'm always new. But it's really nerve-wracking to ask questions out loud because you think like, oh, I'm kind of dumb asking this question, but I promise you, you will not, because there's no way we can all know all of this stuff. So just ask. That's, if you ask, and especially if you ask in a public way, it's the quickest way to get an answer and move forward. So ask the questions. It can be hard, but I promise you, you'll probably get what you're asking. Other thoughts, comments, questions, concerns, mentors, jump in with thoughts and tips, and if you want, or you don't have to.
Yeah, Rudy.
Hey, yeah, so just kind of to echo what Andrew and Stacie are saying, tech jobs especially, they're awesome in throwing you in the middle of stuff and you have to figure everything out, who to talk to, what needs to happen. Like coding is like the easiest part of it. It's like very linear. So use this as a practice. Don't be shy to ask us question, whether it's like moral support, tech, what it's life in the companies we've been working at, what's like anything really. Just like, we're here for you because it's a good skill to have for the rest of your lives and you can't fail here. Andrew, not a challenge, not a challenge. Yeah, just please don't, because you're always going to be growing, you're always going to be learning. There's no point where you'll know everything. You'll just have the experience of, oh yeah, I've done this growth cycle enough times that, yeah, it's not the easiest thing, but it's there. It's fun too. Yeah, that's my spiel. Thank you.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's something that like good advice I've heard from other people is that it's like you'll do really well if you get used to being a little uncomfortable, because if you're uncomfortable, it means you're learning, right? So, and when you're a developer, when you're an engineer, you're always learning because things are always changing and, like new tools come around, all that kind of stuff. So if you can kind of get a little bit comfortable with being uncomfortable, it's going to serve you well. And part of that is kind of losing any shame you might feel around asking a question. None of us were born knowing how to program in JavaScript, right? At least I wasn't. But so yeah, we all have to learn it somehow, and that's what you're here to do. So
along those same lines is like the advice that I like to give anybody in their career, and especially earlier career engineers, is learn how to humbly say you don't know, because you are going to get so much further, so much faster if you can just be like, you know what, I actually don't know the answer to that, because people are going to want to help you, and then you're not going to spin your wheels just looking for answers that if I would have taken 3 minutes to type up the question, Sky would have had a response to me right away, giving me the answer. Like, tell people you don't know, ask the questions, and people are happy to help you, I promise.
So all that said, are there any questions right now that anybody has? It's all fair game. Like we said, we covered a ton of information. The next step, I guess, is your first weekly sync. And that's happening, when does that happen? That's happening this weekend, right? So
at different times.
Yeah, ahead of a few various times, right? So in that first meeting, you'll get to know your team a little bit better. There'll be a quick learning module on Git, just some basics around Git, because that is sort of the foundation on which all the collaboration in the project happens. And you'll find out who you're paired with and who you're going to work, like which issue you're going to work on to start off. So yeah, so we have that to look forward to this weekend, and then you're off and running.
I have a small, excuse me, small question. New mentor. I was poking around the issues and I saw that there were 13 issues, not 16. So is that buffer space? And if we get done early, do we just get to start adding whatever we want?
No. So yeah, the last issue is actually sort of a meta issue, and that's throughout the project, we encourage you to really focus on functionality and not styling. And then there's an issue late in the project, the last issue, where the task is for the team to sort of take over and kind of come up with how they want the design of the application to look, and then break that down into more stories that then they would complete over the last 2 weeks. So that's why it's not 16, but you'll end up with probably more than 16 by the time the team takes, we're going to add this CSS framework or like whatever the tasks are to kind of get to that design that they come up with. Good question.
There have been times in the past where teams have struggled to complete one of the issues they're working on. So occasionally you will have to do what we do in real life on dev teams and make some adjustments to our timelines and the work that we do to make it all fit into the time that we have to meet deadlines. So those challenges might come up, and just be really loud about them, because we're all here to work through it together.
Yeah. And life happens. We've had people like, oh, like I have to go to a wedding, or like all kinds of things happen. It's 2 months long, right? So, just lean on your team, just as you would, if you're in a workplace. Cool.
Other things? Surely, right? Good. Cool. All right. Well, you might not have questions now, but you probably will at some point. And that is expected and totally okay. Be very loud about them. As Andrew mentioned, somebody else probably has that question too. So post it in public so we can all work together to solve the problems together, and know that we are all here for you Your teammates are here for you. I'm here for you. Your mentors are here for you. We're all in this together. So let's do it. Let's do the thing.
So great to meet all of you. Thanks for being here. And yeah, good luck this weekend. Actually, I'm going to be at all the first calls. So I'll see you this weekend. But yeah, excited for you. Take care. Have a good evening.
All right. Bye, friends. See you around.
Thank you so much.
Good
Yeah,
to meet
thank
you.
you.